Well, welcome to a brand new episode of DP Gear Reviews. We're here at the APA Outdoor Shop in Wangzhou, Can. What are we going to be reviewing today, Jack?
Yeah, today we're going to do something special for the summer. It's inflatable SUP boards.
Okay, we have 8 tips for you for buying a new inflatable SUP board. Let's get going. So tip number 1, before you go out on your SUP, you're going to need to choose a paddle, and there are a whole range of things that you need to consider when choosing one. Now, let's start with the material. We have different materials here, starting here where we have an aluminium shaft and a plastic blade. That is the cheapest and most common. If you want something a little bit better grade, you're going to find one like this, which is a mix between fiberglass, which is nice and light but a little bit brittle, or you can go for a full carbon fiber. That is going to be your lightest option. You then also need to decide whether you're going to have one that you can adjust like this one, or a fixed paddle which you will have cut to your size. Now, talking about size, you need to find something that measures right for you. It depends on what you want to do. If you are racing, you probably want something just a little bit above your head, maybe 8 inches above your head. If you're going for a more gentle tour, you may want it up to about 10 to 12 inches above your head. This is just probably a little bit too tall for me, but I can adjust it right here. Now, you also need to think about the blade. There are 3 things you need to think about. First is the shape of the blade. If it's more like a teardrop shape, more rounded, you're going to find that that's going to give you more power, but it's going to be less comfortable. If you're going for long tours, you may want something with a straighter edge, more like one like this one here, this plastic one down here. Now, you also want to look at the size of the blade. The bigger the size, obviously the more power you're going to get, but the less control you're going to have. And then finally, the angle of the blade. Again, now the things to consider here, the more you have of an angle going off, the faster it's going to go, but again, the less comfortable it's going to be. If you're going touring or you're just out for fun, you want something in the middle. If you want the most control, if you're going out surfing, for example, on your SUP, you want to try and keep it straight.
Tip number 2 is about accessory and extras. Normally, when you buy a package, it will come with a cheap pump, single chamber ones like this. You might consider to upgrade to a double chambers because it will really reduce the time and effort when you pump it up. It's so much easier. The other one is about safety. So we highly recommend you to wear a PFD, but lots of stand-up board paddlers prefer a very simple one you can put on your vest. Last, if you go out for a day trip, if you go camping, you need to think about how you carry your stuff. The attachment point not always come with a big one, but you can also buy extra bungees for that, and this one comes with it.
Well, tip number 3 is about the material you choose. Now, the material for an SUP is really important, and you need to understand what you're buying. We're trying to emulate one of these hard shell SUPs like this, a fiberglass one, but obviously on this video we're just talking about inflatables. There are 3 types of material that you should consider. The first is a single layer. Now, this has an advantage of being lighter, it's cheaper to buy, it's easier to pack down, and at first glance would seem like the most obvious bet. But on the disadvantages, it's going to lose its shape fairly quickly, it's not as airtight, it's not as stiff, and generally not as good an experience when you're out on the water. So for this video, we are only featuring double layer. We're talking about drop stitch technology for both, or for all of these. This is this inflatable technology that allows to get something very stiff. Now, with a double layer, you're going to find it slightly more expensive, it's heavier, and it's harder to pack down. Those are the disadvantages. But the advantages are you're going to get a much better experience similar to the hard shell. It's going to be stiffer, it's going to maintain its shape, it's going to be more durable, and it's going to be more airtight. And the third technology I want to talk about is from a company called Red. This is the gold standard at the moment for the best SUP, inflatable SUP that you're going to find. It uses an MSL, its own patented type technology. It is a double layer, but it is up to 2 kilograms lighter than the others. It also has a way of molding that makes it stiffer and stronger than the other double layer kayaks Again, you're going to pay slightly more for it, but you will find the best experience.
Tips number 4 is about the weight and the carrying around. So this one, it's a very standard packaging. Almost all the stand-up paddling board will come with this, and you can see a backpack. Bear in mind, they are not light. When you have the pedal board, when you have the pump and the pedals, everything in it, you have to carry it out the whole day. Won't be easy. A little bit advanced, this one comes with a wheeler. You can roll it around wherever you want, and also you can put it on your back. A little bit easier, but this one is what I'm going to talk about. This is totally the next level. So packable. Literally, I consider it's a backpack. It will enable you to put it on your back and go to some really rural area, really isolated, people cannot reach, and do your SUPs.
So tip number 5 is about the shape of the front of the board, and again, this really matters. Now, the more round it is, we call this a panning shape. This will allow you more maneuverability. That's great if you are trying to maneuver it in white water, you are surfing, or even if you're just doing a bit of yoga or playing around on it and you need to move the board around. This is somewhere in between. It's kind of half there, but this is a very sharp head. This is what we call a displacement head, and that's great if you want to go straight for a long period of time. It's great for touring, for going on long distance SUPs. One other thing to look at is how flat it is in the water. You can see this one is slightly raised here, and that's going to be better when you go through rougher water, when you go through waves, etc. When it's flat, it doesn't do so well, but it's great on flat water.
Got DJ like 10 meters behind me. That's how fast we go on the racing one.
So this is a much more stable board than the one that Jack's on, but as we just saw there, even with my superior paddling skills, I can't keep up with him on his. So it's your choice, really. Okay.
Tip number 6, you need to think about your activities. So for this one, it's longer, it's narrower, it's easier for you to really cruise for the long day, go for an adventure, go for touring. It's very easy for you to keep it straight when you paddle. And this one, you can see it's much wider. It's also shorter as well. It's easy to maneuver, and also it's wider for you to do some water activity, maybe water yoga, something like that.
Now, tip number 7 is about the volume of the board. Now, this is a combination of the length, the width, and how deep it is. Those 3 measurements will give you a capacity in litres. 1 litre equals 1 kilogram. Now, if you have a capacity that is the same weight as you, I'm 85 kilograms. If I had a board that was exactly 85 litres in capacity, it would just be floating on the water, just under the water, in fact. So I wanted something a little bit more than that because I'm not really that good. So I'm normally looking for about 2.5. I'm 85 kilograms, so I would be looking for a capacity that is 2.5 times 85 in terms of litres. Now, with these 3 boards, we've got different capacities, and it varies, depends on the length. Now, the middle board, although it's not the longest, it actually has the greatest capacity because it is the thickest. So it's those combination of the 3. Look at those 3 things together and get the right board for you.
Tip number 8 is about the skate and fins. So when you choose your SUPs, you need to think about what kind of activity you do. So basically, the longer the skates are, the easier for you to go straight. If you go for long trekking, for example, like this one, you got one single long one, you can go easily for long distance. And use this as an example. It's much shorter, you go straight. So think about if you go surfing, for example, there'll be a good choice. And this one is a bit of both. You got 2 shorter ones, and you can easily take this one off. It's a combination, depends on your activities. Think about which one you would choose.
Well, that's the end of this episode. We've had a lot of fun out here, hey Jack?
Yeah, really enjoy that when we stand up, see all the views on the boards, really nice.
Yeah, very different from kayaking, and something I'm definitely going to have a go at, hopefully on a better day than today though.
Yeah, big thanks to the AP Outdoor Store guys for lending us all 3 SUPs, and we also got some tips that we didn't know from.
We did, and we hope these 8 tips really help you when you come to decide to buy a inflatable SUP. But for now, we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Like and subscribe our channel wherever you see it. I'm Jack.
I'm TJ.
Bye bye.
What happened there? No way.
Push me.
I didn't touch it.